Welcome to the Bougie Black Brother Network. Good evening and welcome to Rethink Politics, where we scan the globe and national issues of what we discuss and the diversity of thought. And I'm here with my co-host, E. What's going on, brah?
Yo, trying to catch up on all this Trump racism debate. We're behind. We got to catch up.
We are so behind. But yeah, we'll catch up to the racism in a minute. Yeah, no.
Oh, I see what you did there. The race and the ism.
With the isms. And sliding behind us is Chaz Jenkins. What up, CJ? What's the deal?
Yo. I've been adulting, man.
You did. You have been.
Yeah, I actually got my little home office set up.
What?
Yo, working from, just side note, commuting versus working from home. Which one's better?
Working from home?
Rhetorical question.
Working from home.
Exactly. Yeah. Rhetorical question.
But guess what, though? You work more at home than you would if you were to commute to work.
That's true.
It don't matter.
I know. I got you.
Do.
So
do.
You wind up doing 12, 10 hours, whereby you trying to get 8, maybe 9 in, and then the travel time. But you checking because now you committed to saying, yo, I got to do the work. And let me get this done so I don't have to be doing some shit tomorrow. Whereby you could shut it off at work, be like, fuck it, I'm coming in tomorrow, so I'll just start that tomorrow.
Yeah, and the human interaction. That's what I do. Been doing that for like 2 years now. Sometimes
lovely.
you get stuck. You can go a whole week. You can go a whole week without talking to anybody. I mean, in person.
Right,
you know
right.
Look, I'm not doing a whole week. I'm gonna go in like twice, 3 times. You know, I'm not completely remote, but I'm trying to finesse it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you should try to keep it that way. You know what I'm saying? Because you're probably more productive if you think so or not, because you have the time to do it in the day, in the middle of the day, and at night, because you can get it done at your pace, as opposed to watching the clock to get the fuck on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Or the other way around.
Yeah.
You're doing it at your own pace, and then you don't get shit done because you're binge watching Netflix.
Oh, yeah. I'm busy.
Yep. Yeah. Anywho, we wanted to circle back because we kind of didn't have our feedback on the 2 Democratic debates, and the Thursday and the Friday. Kind of standouts. I'm not sure if you saw it all, Chaz. So since you didn't, you're the one that didn't have the majority of the looks on that. What was your thoughts on that?
To be honest, so as someone who didn't watch it, I just saw probably how a lot of people consumed it. You know, caught it the next day. I think it was on the Daily Show, and Trevor Noah kind of had his little bit on it of how Kamala Harris went after Biden, and it was like, how dare you voted for this and the buses, and she went in his ass, and but on the same time, like the next day, Kamala was getting applause and the boost. People on Twitter was talking shit.
Yeah, man.
So I was kind of like, well, why is she being applauded here, but people are attacking her record here? So that was my main takeaway, was like, who is, at this point, who on the left side, who will they not tear down? Like last time we saw Hillary versus Bernie folks. Who will survive the infighting? So it looks like Elizabeth is still, she still looks viable in terms of mainstream and the actual the left. I feel like the left is still, I'm curious to see how fractured things are, but that was my main takeaway, just seeing the social media response, and then the media.
That was one night, so you really got the information for the one night.
I didn't feel like nothing happened the other night.
It kind of did, but the impact of it wasn't as much as the second night.
I get right. So for me, the first night seemed kind of, it was cool. Yeah. I mean, it was a form. They did their thing. Elizabeth was on that one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, she nobody really made headlines, I guess, which is good for them. Versus it being the other way around. If you make headlines, it could be the wrong reason.
I don't know.
They kind of did. They kind of did.
All right, well, what happened? Let me refresh my memory because maybe I forgot.
So
Or
Yeah, well, okay. So the first night was Elizabeth Warren and everybody else. That's pretty much like what the first night was. I feel like nobody really stood out outside of Warren, and
oh, it was Juan. It was Beto, Juan, and them, right?
yep.
They were speaking Spanish for some reason.
Yeah.
yeah. Was that the second one? That might have been both. I don't know.
That was both nights. Because remember,
Dropping Espanol.
yeah, what's his name?
Juan
Cory
and
Booker.
Beto.
No, Cory Booker.
Yeah, Booker. Yeah.
He put his Spanish out.
Booker, so man, like get him out of there, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. E. So when you looked at that, I thought it was really interesting with the Beto Julian Castro interactions. What was your thoughts there? And even though he got a bump in that, did it tell you anything that you didn't already know?
About
Beto.
Beto and who? With Beto, it just I felt like he fell flat, man. He seemed I don't know what the word is, but he just didn't seem didn't seem presidential.
Not at all.
Yeah, it seemed like he was just kind of flustered, like almost as if his answers weren't clear and maybe he wasn't prepared, which is kind of what Biden looked like too in a lot of his answers.
Right.
Actually, I want to jump in this one.
Okay.
Y'all remember? I think it was one of Obama's first things, when he was done with the presidency, and he was at Chicago University talking to the students, and one of his answers to a question was he felt like, in retrospect, a lot of people, maybe himself, I think he did say himself, in politics, they keep moving forward to the next thing because they feel like they have to.
Mm-hmm.
So they keep feeling like, I got to climb this ladder, I got to keep looking forward, regardless of, will I actually be able to make an impact realistic? Like the self-awareness may not be there because they just, they're just fueled by their ambition. And maybe it's they have the right heart, but realistically, maybe Beto should have said, maybe it's not my time. Maybe I need to take a step back.
Right.
It's just like why not go for a governor? You know what I'm saying? Why not just say, you know what? I'm gonna jump in the Texas governor's race next year.
Yeah.
Like why the president? And people, I think too many people try to, that's the next level.
Shoot for the stars. Yeah.
Maximize your lane versus trying to jump in another lane you may not be ready for.
Yeah, that's the way. Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, to me, he was kind of an afterthought. To be honest with you, was he the first night? I keep forgetting. He was the first night, right?
Just the fact that you keep forgetting. I mean, what does that tell you?
Tells you a lot.
Because to me, it was so bad the first night because there were 10 people on that stage. That Warren, first of all, Warren wasn't even attacking anybody. No one was even attacking Warren because she didn't have to. She just was being herself, and I feel like it was like the equivalent of some like a cup game. Like it was just like she just got to practice that night. And it's just
what?
Yeah, it was her show. It was absolutely.
Wait,
her
you saying
show.
that was a scrimmage?
Yeah,
her.
I'm dead serious. Yeah, because nobody was challenging her. Nobody. But let me jump to the next point because the second night, people were challenging Biden. You know what I mean? Like they were because Biden's on the top of the polls, kind of like Warren was in the first debate. I think a lot of the candidates saw that and they were like, "Oh, we need to go after Biden, or we need to go after the person at the top of the polls." And that's kind of what I think maybe the strategy was for at least like most of the candidates because they were going after Biden. Like there was some actual back and forth.
I disagree. I felt like with Biden, they smelled blood. Like just in general. I mean,
yeah,
we talked about this previously. How excited are we about Biden?
It depends on who you saying we is. Because there's a lot of people who are saying it's we. Yeah, Dems, because if you look at the polls are saying he has a 10-point lead
No,
at beating
I think his name has a 10-point
No,
lead, but
exactly. No,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
so from a campaign perspective, I mean,
He
once
ain't
she
got
goes
shit
out
going
there,
on. Yeah.
like once the primaries actually start and she actually begins to win, you're gonna see a lot of those donations and things switch to her, to Elizabeth or whoever else is doing well.
So I actually think,
Uh-oh.
I think the coming out party was for Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Or is it
Kamala.
Yeah. So I'm actually thinking after, like, she's the one that took over that second one. It was pretty much her. Like, I think she was flawless that night.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can say whatever you want about her campaign or whatever she's done in the past or now. And that night, people that had no idea who she was or who these candidates were, she stood out.
Right.
And it was like, oh, okay, we need to pay attention to her. I like what she's saying because she came off as passionate.
Mm-hmm.
She came off as, to me, savvy. You know what I mean? Like, she knew how to transition.
Mm-hmm.
She knew how to. She had compassion, so she can kind of connect with the audience. She knew what she was talking about with every question, and she knew how to interact with each of the people that were going after her. You know, whenever
all the
they
questions.
go back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Like, she was the closest to what you would want with somebody that knows how to handle. I guess you could say if Trump was. I hate to use Trump as the other end. I hate doing that, but yeah, if somebody that can go back and forth and knows how to respond and clap back the way you're supposed to. I didn't feel like anybody else. It wasn't Booker.
Nope.
I felt like he wasn't saying anything. It wasn't Biden because he just.
Man,
I don't know, man.
You know what? Booker is like. He's like a principal. I don't know. Like, I just want him to
like a robot. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you just imagine him. Hey guys, welcome back to school. Is it like just something like that? But
hello guys. Yeah.
Hey guys.
You see it right.
Welcome guys.
Or like he's a dean of a school, like a college.
Yeah, like a Mr. Rogers kind of thing. Yeah.
Like but again, I don't know if he has the same syndrome of like, okay, I'm a U.S. senator. Again. I say when I go for governorship or something, like, why is president the next move? Like, why?
He does seem like the perfect VP, though. I will say that. Like, he just seems like the type of person that'll fall in line.
Yeah.
And he'll do what
I agree with that. I do agree with that.
So he's like a
cabinet
Democratic
member.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But do you have to run for that?
So the only way you'll get your interview for those positions is
you got to
run. You got to do it.
So even though my chances are this, somebody else might get it and they might pick me.
Yep. So
I think you have to bow out early, though. You know, if you want to be a VP.
He's still getting money, and he's still getting jumps in the polls. So he can last at least another 2 months, whereby there's a lot of people who just need to give it up. Yeah, they have no choice now because they can't even get on stage now. You know what I'm saying?
So they can't get on stage. What are they, comedians after a bad set?
After a bad set, come back next month. You know, we'll see what you got. Get some new material. God damn it.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Look, I get the same talking points.
Yeah,
and we're gonna blah blah blah. We heard that shit before. Boo.
So, on my evaluation of the two, so the first one is, I'm going to agree with you, E. It was Elizabeth Warren's show. The one thing that I did enjoy was people seeing that Beto was not prepared. I've known this for so long because he's an animated young guy with energy that people felt that he was ready. And
we're gonna change the world, guys.
Yeah,
I love you guys.
But there was nothing of substance that came out of his fucking mouth. Right. So I was glad to see that he was being challenged. So that was a good thing. But there were so many peripheral idiots that was on there, man, that I was like, what are you there for? That really was it was terrible.
You were listening to him, and then because I know you didn't see it, Chaz, but you would listen to him, and you just, you know how you look at somebody in the moment, like lights are on them, and you're like, ooh, like nah,
Nah, man.
like
What are
you're
you
just
talking
like, nah,
about?
bro, this ain't you. This
Nah,
ain't
nah. You shouldn't
nah.
be here. You shouldn't be here, bro. You shouldn't
Yeah,
be here.
yeah.
Like, did you feel bad for him, or what was
No,
the feeling?
no. I felt like
I
you
did.
shouldn't have been there. I felt like,
I
yo,
did.
you shouldn't even got on stage, bitch. You know, that's what I got.
This is self-induced on
Yeah.
all levels.
So I
Yeah,
did
yeah.
like Tulsi Gabbard. That's the one from Hawaii that was in the military. She stood out to be a really good cabinet member. Not a president, not a vice
Secretary.
president, but a very good cabinet member. And I
So-
think this would be great for Secretary of Defense because
Yep.
she made herself known that not only do I know the military, not only do I know how government should lead, not only do I know how the military should be reacting to different things, I can get it done because I've lived it. And she showed up really well, but not enough for to be a president. I think Julian Castro took advantage of the immigration issue, which gave him a bump with some money.
Yeah.
Corey is exactly what you're saying. He's that, you go see the principal, you know what I'm saying? Or your guidance counselor. He's going to be telling you something. He didn't give me anything, and it was like weird. It was like
Again, is it forced? Like, why are you doing this?
no. I
He's
think
like-
I think that's who he is, though. Honestly, but I wouldn't vote for anyone like that.
Yeah,
But
not
when you-
anymore.
Yeah,
There was
not
a time
anymore.
for him.
There was exactly. I think the era of this guy is over. That type of guy is over. But
What year, like
the
what,
second
2000,
I
early
say
2000?
early
What do you mean?
2000 in the right before Obama, because if he would have ran around the same time in Obama, they would have said, "Well, I don't know which guy," because he would have been. He has that look. He has that sound. He has things that he can do that was talking points that people would gravitate toward. Now it's kind of like, yeah, man, get the hell out of here.
Let me.
Bro,
I wanted
go
to.
ahead.
Yeah. So I wanted to bring up something about that because as I was watching the debates, both of them, there was a feeling as you were watching each candidate that it was the first time I felt this, where whenever if you're a white man and you're up there as a candidate, it actually felt like you're the underdog, like you have to kind of prove yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like almost like you're not Bernie. I almost feel like Bernie's in a different, maybe because the way he looks or whatever. But
And I want to ask you about Bernie too, but go ahead.
yeah, but it was almost like, all right, who's this white dude?
Yep.
And then he comes off like, that they do that thing with their fists in their mouth, and
Yeah,
they try to do that presidential thing, like we as Americans have to be, strong, and we have to be a part of each other, and then say some corny stuff like pass the torch or something, and you're like, you know what I mean? It was just, it's not. This ain't 1994. Like I don't know. It seemed like as a white man, I'm not even trying to say white men have to struggle. I'm just simply saying I think everybody's more woke now, and they're like, okay, that's not how this works anymore. Anybody can be president.
But you have to be a better white man now. Before
Yeah.
it was any white man, let's just choose which one. Now it's like, you're not the white man that we want, because they had so many of the motherfuckers on stage that I was kind of like, man, you just need to shut up. You don't need to even be talking. And it was so many of them though, and that was crazy. So I wanted to ask you about Bernie though. In all, I mean, first thoughts into the debates. What was your take on Bernie?
Well, he didn't hurt himself, nor did he really help himself, in my opinion. He was all right. I don't think he was terrible. I mean, I don't know what you think about that, but I felt like he didn't. I will say this: he came off angry.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
But when doesn't he?
So,
but no, it was different. It was done
like
before.
bitter?
it was a funny look for him, and he's kind of saying it. So I'm glad you saw it. He came off like, I'm supposed to be the star up in here. I'm the guy that y'all wanted last year, and he was like angry, but he wasn't specific in his policies because everyone has the policies now. Everyone is saying what he was saying years ago, and he seemed as though he was angry because he couldn't stand out because everyone's saying pretty much the same thing that he's saying.
So basically, he should have won his. He didn't win his Grammy. Now everybody's copying his style, rapping like him, and he's mad.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, yo, man, I started this style, and
he's
he
Future before.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what he got. That's what I had to take for him. Now, he is the one I felt bad for because I realized that his platform is done. People took over his platform. It's not his anymore.
Well, he moved the party to the left. And
Exactly.
I think he can take credit for that.
But he can't because he want to be president. You can't take president. Yeah. I mean, you can't take it. Go ahead.
He needs to change his I don't know, his phrases, the way he was saying the same things that we heard before. So it was almost like, you're not saying anything new. You just sound like we've already liked.
Okay, but
before.
Let me play devil's advocate. What was he supposed to say?
He's supposed to say something new because there's people.
So it's like a comedian.
Yeah.
No, he sounds like everyone else. That's the problem. You know what I mean? It cancels out eventually, and then you're neither great nor bad. You just are. You're just burning.
So that's why you don't want to hear him. Yeah. So you don't want to hear him because we already know.
Yeah. Now, other people were saying similar things. You know what I mean? Like his policies are no longer unique. It's what the party wants. You know what I mean? So
it's
what else
exactly what you say with rappers. There's people. Future came out and changed the style, and everyone did it and started making more money than him. And they kind of like, just Future's Future. So he has to be part. He has to bring on somebody to give him some relevance, but he hasn't done that yet. And I felt bad because I realized that night he had nothing for me.
So he's done.
He's not done. He's not quite done.
Beto's done.
No, Beto's done. So I'm going to tell you who kind of stood out, but he's not going to win because he hasn't shown that he can take care of black people, and that's Pete Buttigieg. Buttigieg. Now, that dude is good, and he's smart, and he can react to everything.
He just made a whole African-American plan, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. But
man,
why?
Fucked up.
But you did that after the fact. You follow what I'm saying? So people don't trust you. You just doing it because you're running for president. You didn't do that as a fucking small town mayor. Why didn't you do it then? Why didn't you do things in your own community? So people got a bad taste. And then it's that gay thing in the black community that black people will not vote for a gay person.
Yeah, black people are
You can play the organ or the piano, but don't tell us you can.
And Hispanics.
And Hispanics.
Same thing.
Yeah. So, but if you see him face value, that dude is very smart. Very smart. He can put a plan together. No one can come up against him because he deflects it in such a great way. But you got to have somebody to follow you. And he doesn't have enough of that. He's getting the money, though. He's getting the money.
Yeah. That money thing always bothers me, man, because I feel like it's overrated, kind of like the polls.
You said that before. And the problem is, if you racing for the money, are you really care? Yeah, Beto's getting the money.
Yeah, Beto's raising all this money. It was like,
So here's a funny one. Yeah. Here's a funny one that I kind of enjoyed, and I'm not sure if you did on that, E. And so, Chaz, you probably heard her name, but Marianne Williamson.
Oh yeah,
is that Crystal Lady?
The
author.
The author, yeah. She was good though. Yeah. She was good.
She was entertaining.
She was entertaining. Yes, she was entertaining.
She knew she wasn't gonna be no president.
Yeah, I know.
She was just on there because
she want to promote some books and shit.
Yeah, she snuck on there and they were like,
"A set of crystals I want y'all to buy and shit." Yeah.
So wait, you said she snuck on shit? She put out all the paperwork. What she done? She didn't sneak. She filled out the paperwork.
She got followers on Twitter.
But she filled it out right though. How about that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
She was trending on Twitter. Like right after the debate, she was trending for like almost 24 hours.
Because people was like, who is this crazy lady?
No, but she has some great quotes, though. She has some really good quotes on there. But will I vote for her?
She's an author.
Fuck out of here, man. You crazy? Shit. But overall, the battle, so let's go to the battle, though. Because Kamala came on there with an intent to say, I got to take that dude down. Here's my only opportunity to take him down. she bypassed goddamn Bernie and went straight for Biden. And Biden was not prepared.
She bodied
Nah.
He looked at bad, dude. She bodied him bad. And he looked really unprepared. And the one thing that he did that everybody kept calling out is he was trying to explain himself. And then he said, "Oh, my time is up." And then I'll stop.
Time is up.
Yeah.
Time is up. I got it. No,
my
motherfucker,
30
finish your thought, man. Don't let that.
He was like,
Nah, I ain't getting no more of that.
He's like, you know what? I'll lose a leg, but I don't gotta lose my
head
arm
cut
either.
off, yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, just, you know what? I can't do any more damage to myself. So
You know, the other thing about Biden is he needs to stop saying Obama. He's got to stop saying like
what else he got?
No.
But he's got himself. He's got his own name. He got
No, he don't.
No.
Yeah,
people
he
vote
do.
for him because
People
Obama,
are gonna.
dude.
Nah, he has to sneak it in, but he says it way too much.
You
So
crazy?
way too
What?
much for the new voters. Those people who's giving them money and pushing them in the polls know that that's Obama's
I'm
partner.
voting because of Obama.
Yep.
Nah, well, that's the problem. This is the reason why.
Look, okay, you know
That's
I got to
the
use
problem.
my analogies.
There you
like,
go.
look,
Go
y'all
ahead.
remember?
Man. We do for
Y'all
one.
remember? Say what?
We do for one. Go ahead with it.
So y'all remember back in 2003 when R4 when 50 dropped. So 50 Cent, you know, he was a rapper before, obviously, but with
There
this
you go.
debut album, his name was, you know, whatever, but it doesn't hurt to have Dr. Dre, Eminem,
And Eminem.
and it's like,
yeah.
Nah.
it's like, oh shit. Okay, I'm
No
gonna
one
check it
heard
out.
of him though. No one heard of him though. That's the difference.
Okay, what's a better analogy? I'm just
Kanye West maybe with Jay-Z or something.
okay. So we all heard of Kanye, but we heard of him.
But
okay,
Kanye was a
but
genius
Watch the
before
Throne.
that, though.
Okay, wait. Let's go with that. Let's go with Watch the Throne in particular.
Okay.
Like if you say, oh, okay, Kanye West album. Okay, cool. I'm check it out. Kanye Jay-Z. I'm just gonna be curious, like, oh, because it says Jay-Z's on it. It's not gonna be any weird. You know, Kanye might do
See?
something.
You know, like some crazy singing or
shit.
whatever like
Chaz,
that. Right?
see, this is where I got you, right? See, Kanye is a genius, though.
Yep.
He's fucking crazy, but he's
a fucking
like,
genius.
he can hold it on his own and still prove that he can do it, and he doesn't need Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? He can make his own shit.
I think Kanye
that's
right
what I'm saying.
now. If Kanye right now did some shit with Jay-Z, be like, oh,
No. Because we already know that Kanye crazy and it's just not going to work that way. But he has to use that. Back to the jumping off the analogy.
I don't think he
has
does.
to, man. Because if
I
he
think
doesn't,
you guys got it off. You got it wrong. You're thinking like a campaign manager. Like you have to use his name to get people to listen to you. And then it's like, no, that's not going to last
people
long.
to listen, but okay. So his resume, those 8 years don't matter.
Those 8 years as a
VP.
yeah.
So let's go. Let's go before the
I'm
8
sorry.
years. Nah, come on, E. Let's go back to before the 8 years. When he start talking about the stuff before the 8 years, he
Bro,
talking
this shit is
about
rough.
hanging out with racist senators. He talking about
Bruh.
Anita Hill. He talking
Yeah.
about fucking busing
sorts of
rights.
shit.
That's his fucking record, dude.
Yeah, he
Do
got
he really want to stand on that?
Bro, his political career started in 2008, according to Biden.
Right. Not 1970.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not in the fucking
His whole
mid-70s.
Wikipedia
Yo.
is like erased up to went from stay-at-home dad to vice president, straight to the top.
Yeah.
So
People forget he lost like 3 different
Bruh,
presidential.
that's not that
Exactly.
doesn't build confidence. You lost, and the only reason you got in because you lost again. And Obama just said, "Any, many, mighty, mo."
Yep. He said, "I'll take
Yeah,
that old
let
white
me
man."
get the white man.
Yeah, the old white man at that. You know what I mean? So that's why Obama has to be placed out there. Because if he doesn't, people will go back and say, "Man, you ain't done shit." Trump already
Exactly.
said, "Why am I have to worry about a guy who lost the presidency 3 different times? I'm not worried about him."
Yeah, you didn't even win.
That's what he keeps saying. That's what Trump's saying. Even though they say he's going to beat Trump by like 10, his name is going to beat him.
I don't even
but
know if
Trump
that's
can
true,
keep
by the
saying
way.
that. Yeah,
Right.
I know.
We believe that shit for Hillary.
I don't believe that.
mm,
That's what he is. I think he's Hillary. It is exactly the same thing. I think we would get the exact same result if he won the whole thing.
But if he
that's
bitch
my
up,
fear.
that's what's gonna happen because he just says stupid shit, and then he gets drawn back. Like I better not say nothing because they're gonna get mad at me, and then he can't react fast enough.
So all right. So here's some information I know, right, about Biden. So I got some connections in DC, and then that actually got confirmed on another podcast when I was listening to Obama's former campaign people and speech writers, Pod Save America people. So apparently, when he was president, when he walks into a room, it's not the same as if when Obama walks in a room.
Oh hell yeah!
Or even when Trump walks in a room, he doesn't call for that attention. Like he doesn't. You know how a leader walks into a room and people listen to you, people stand up, and they just draw respect. Yeah, he does not get that at all. That's not what he brings in. It's almost like it's more like a buddy.
Yep.
And you know what I mean? Like almost like that player's coach, if that makes any sense. Like like you can walk over them if you want, but they're never gonna try to tell you what to do. They're just kind of like as knowledgeable as they are. You don't follow them. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what he doesn't have, that leader mentality, and that's what is. I'm starting to hear more and more now because I've kind of heard that in the past. When you hear Biden now as a president, that's what's being brought to the front. So I kind of put that into my mind when I start hearing him talking about Obama. I'm like, I kind of need him to speak up and say, okay, what are you bringing as a president? Because that's exactly what we want to hear. We want to hear,
but he can't.
What kind of leader are you?
But he can't.
What can? Yeah,
he can't.
I don't even know if he can rally up a crowd. I haven't been watching his rallies.
So I watched his speeches, but I still haven't got too much. But think about it. The reason why you're hearing a little more of this, I think, just my opinion, is because he just got bodied. This woman who nobody knew came on stage and bodied his ass, and they was like, yo, who is this? So they pointed at her, and it's like, if a nobody can come up and do this to the front runner, is this guy really prepared? So now he's being scrutinized more. So the only way to get away from under that is, me and Obama did so much good stuff. That's when I really was able to do some legislation. So what happened before that, though? So really what you're saying is, if it wasn't for Obama, you wouldn't have been able to do a goddamn thing. That's not a good look.
Yeah, you're just taking up space in the Senate, not doing shit.
Exactly. So I'm just saying. So this whole, there's going to be a lot of people dropping off because they ain't got enough money, because the money is going to the people who they already saw and who they believed in. So everything is starting to shift. So the next debate will actually says, you know what, all y'all, I'll talk to y'all later when it's cabinet time. But right now, I think y'all need to save your money, go back to the Senate, and start doing some votes for impeachment. Because by the time we get to the impeachment, it'll be election time, so don't even worry about it. But at least do the investigations and go from that. But so I think it's a weak front, and now they doing the kind of the birther thing on Kamala as well, because they said she's not a citizen because her father's Jamaican and her mother's Indian.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard that.
So she hasn't been a citizen for 49, 50 years?
Yeah. But see, that's the same shit that they did with Obama, and that was Trump's son who was initiating that and putting that out on fucking Twitter. So it is what it is.
But, yeah, even though she was born in Oakland.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And bust. Yeah. She made that fucking clear. You know what I mean?
I didn't. You know what? I didn't know that she was. She went to Howard. That was one thing I learned. I had no idea.
So she went to Howard. I think she went to Spelman. She went to Howard though.
No, she went to Howard.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
She was on the Breakfast Club, and I listened to the whole.
That's one thing that's starting to bug me.
What's
it's
that?
like politicians got to go on a fucking Breakfast Club.
You do.
It's like,
You do.
Yeah, I
That's
don't.
where the
What's wrong
votes
with
at,
that?
dude. The votes are there.
yeah,
You go
but
for where the votes are, dude. You
I
just
know, I get it, but I'm just like, what am I gonna learn about them? That is it just the demographics? Like,
can't. Yes.
Bro, you literally. I just said that about Obama. You should. Biden need to stop saying Obama. You're like, you got to say it to get people to listen. It's the same
so
thing.
you saying it's the same thing
Yeah, they gotta go in there so black people can hear it. They got
for
me.
black people?
Yeah,
Because they all know that her husband is white, so they already got so many things that they're waiting to pounce on her. But they really being patient. They really being patient. So,
I think, Mike. Not to cut you off. I think that. I mean, I'm gonna get a little controversial, but I think
likes that.
I think her being married to a white man has a lot of black women a little
tight,
Sideways.
Yeah, and there's a lot of hate on Twitter.
Check it out. Before we get into this Twitter conversation, I want to jump into the squad, and I want to be able to actually get into the controversy that just actually occurred. So stand by, and we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back to Rethink Politics.